My name's Jeff, co-founder of Floobits, and this is our Floobits plugin for Atom that Bjorn is recording. And today we're going to pair on a feature in the Silver Searcher, which is some software that I wrote that lets you search code bases very quickly, like grep or ACK. We'll go through just showing off Atom and how we pair and see how it goes. So, Bjorn, say hi, maybe?
Hello.
That's Bjorn. He also works at Floobits. So the exact feature that we want to add is disabling multi-line matches in HE, or having an option to disable it. So if there's a regular expression, like the one that I just summoned Bjorn to, let's say you have a file that contains, what, new line ever, new line whatever. Sometimes you want a regular expression to only match across a single line, and you can't quite do that with the PCRE library. So we have to manually add some things to only run PCRE exec on each line. Otherwise, you end up with a regular expression that matches something huge that you didn't really want. That's the main thing. That often a regular expression that says, not the letter, this letter, whatever, that will match a new line, and then you're sunk. You'll get a giant highlight, a giant match that you didn't want, a false positive, so to speak. Most people don't notice this most of the time because dot matches everything except a new line. Really handy little bit of regex trivia there. So we've written some test cases that test this multi-line stuff, and one of them fails because we're not done implementing it, and now we have to go implement it. So let's see, over in options.c, we have a multi-line option that we default to true because that's the current behavior. And we have this giant struct of long options that we pass into, the get long opt function? Yeah, down here. And one of those options is, multi-line or no multi-line. That's no multi-line and multi-line's im. Yeah. So right now we don't do anything with ops.multiline. I think it only shows up in a couple places in our code base. Yeah, we set it and we don't do anything with it. So now we're over in, this is search.c, and there's a big old function search buff, which does exactly what it sounds like it's going to do. Searches a buffer. We probably want somewhere in here. Yeah, right. If we're not literal, blah, blah, blah. If we are literal match, literal means you're not using a regular expression when you're searching in AG. We use different algorithms to speed that up. So we use our own string algorithm that's based on Boyer-Moore horsepool string. But if you are using a regex, we can't use that. So we PCRE exec this guy. So in this case, we're using a regex. We need to check ops.multiline and call PCRE exec on each line. Yeah, offset vector. Okay, so this thing just goes through and calls PCRE exec every time, in the buffer. We should probably right before this. Yeah. So Bjorn, I don't know if you've looked at how much code you've looked at here, but did you see the there's a search stream function farther down?
No.
All right, let's do right. Yeah, right here, and it just calls search buff on each line of a of a stream. So if you're piping something to AG, then yeah, we'll wait till the next new line, and then we'll call search buff on that.
So the bug is that when you're searching, you want to search multiple lines, right?
Or you want to search for something, and you don't want to search multiple lines. That is, you only want to match if it's on one single line. And there's no way to tell libpcre, search but only on a single line. If you disable the multi-line option in PCRE that we have over in main.c.
But you're searching one line at a time.
Yeah, this is the only way to do it because, in this case, in search stream, we're searching one line at a time because we don't know when the stream's going to end or whatever. It's super hacky, but yeah, that's how it is. And we need to add that sort of behavior to search buff if you're searching
Multi-lines.
if you've got multi-line off. So this buff is, it looks like just a normal buffer to us, but it's a memory mapped file. So we can't modify it basically, which means we can't put \0 on it. It looks like PCRE exec takes the length though, so we don't need to null terminate it. That's good. Makes sense. Otherwise PCRE exec would not be binary safe. So maybe we can get away with this. Yeah. We've got so the way PCRE exec, this function works, is you give it a regular expression, optional extra data, which is the result of PCRE steady. So if you're running the same match on lots of data, you can call PCRE steady before, and we'll optimize the regex definite automaton or whatever, or PCRE JIT or whatever.
Okay. And
then you give it a buff, the length. Buff offset is where to start searching in the buffer, because you call PCRE exec multiple times. And then you give it an offset vector, and it will put any matches in there. So
what is buff offset like, and what's the unit?
It's size t, so unsigned integer basically. So you're like, here's a buffer, void pointer, whatever. It's 2 kilobytes long, and start searching at position at byte 900.
So it's bytes. So
yeah,
each number represents a byte.
Yes.
Okay.
And then if there's a match, then offset vector, and then you put max matches there, so that way PCRE exec after, it's the length of the offset vector. So offset vector has begin, end, and length, I believe. Begin, something like that.
I wonder if that breaks with multi-byte Unicode characters.
Oh, it totally does. If you're screwing around with encodings, you're going to have a bad time here. So, like, if you search for some random hiragana or whatever, and the encoding is shift JIS instead of UTF-8, or if it's UTF-16 instead of UTF-8, those bytes won't match. You won't find it.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's so hard. I'm not even gonna. All right, so we've got our little while loop. We need. Default is offset multi-line, so I think the easiest way to mess with this is just write the non-multi-line version, and then we see how we can combine them. So it's going to be ugly, but yeah, this is totally going to be copy-pasted code for a little bit. And then once we have it working, we'll see how to merge the code and dedupe the parts that are repetitive. So
you pasted something in here?
Yeah, I totally pasted
the piece that's in the while loop is what you pasted.
I'm copy pasting the whole while loop.
Okay.
It's ugly, yeah.
Oh, right, yes, the while loop. That's fine.
All right, so if offset multiline, this is the normal behavior we want. Now this is not multiline, so we want buff offset less than buff len. That makes sense to me. But I don't think we can call PCRE exec in here. So it would be more like don't know if I declared RV around. It's just return value. Nope. So if PCRE exec has some sort of error, I don't know what, then it's going to return a negative number, and then we're sunk.
Okay. Oh, you do check that in the other while loop.
The other one, it's just like, ooh, look at me, fancy. While it's greater than or equal to 0, we keep on trucking.
Why is it a separate? Because you would just want to stop completely.
It's separate here because we're going to be giving different values for buff len, and buff offset.
Got it.
So
because you're just checking one line at a time.
Right. So right now buff is the whole buffer, but we want to just get a line out of the buffer. So buff offset is where we've searched to. We should probably, let's see, I think.
I'm a little bit confused on one issue, which is when, the not character.
Yeah.
When multiline, in the case of multiline being true, the not character represents the beginning of the entire buffer, or the beginning of the line.
Oh, you mean the caret, like the little
caret? Yes.
chapeau chinois. Yeah.
Not the not symbol, right?
Yeah. It's because of how we are using PCRE. It always means the beginning of the line, not the beginning of the whole buffer.
It will never mean the beginning of the buffer.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Over in main.c we have over here we're like PCRE ops equal PCRE multiline. Okay, so we've got a regular expression, we've got our extra. Now buff needs to be line.
And create line.
Yep. I'm wondering if it should be, do we use a void pointer or a character? Okay. Something like that. Okay, so this is not a function yet. There's a function with the same name, but not what we want. I'm going to say something like, get me the next line that is part of this buff, and here's my offset. Like, it starts at this.
And you have to worry about line endings.
Yeah, getLine is going to worry about that.
What if it's a binary file?
Oh, we have a thing for that somewhere. We check it later.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it's a binary file, a getLine will also have to check for end of file or whatever, or that. Oh, you're right. We should pass in the length of the buffer in addition to where we currently are in the buffer, and then we're safe because this function that we haven't written yet will make sure that we haven't gone past the end, because there's no null termination. It's just a memory map file. The reason we have like the const char pointer all over the place is because PCRE exec wants that, even though it totally works with, like, if you have \0 in the middle, it'll still run. So this guy, and we'll be lazy about this right now and have a That's totally not going to work most of the time.
Why?
Well, I mean, what if this is null because we're at the end or something?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to add a. Actually, we don't return. We would like to break. We got to the end, maybe, whatever. All right, so now this guy is.
Okay, so you know my C is a little bit rusty.
Yeah.
Sorry. So line is a pointer to a
Yeah.
character array. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And when you're not dereferencing the pointer, what is the?
Oh, that just means if it's null, if it's zero.
If the pointer itself is null, not what? Okay.
Right. If you wanted to check the first character, you'd dereference it or.
Right.
Or yeah, use bracket 0.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. Or the last part, right? Yeah, whatever. All right, so we have our length, we have our line. This offset isn't quite right now. It's almost like we. It's almost like we want instead of buff offset. It's like we can't do the pointer arithmetic. It wouldn't work. So I had an idea of this is the offset for the whole buffer, but piece area exec wants the offset for what you're passing in, which is line. If there are multiple matches on the same line, then we can't just put an offset of 0. Otherwise, it would always keep running from that point. You could have getLine return something a little more complicated than this.
So if there are multiple matches in one line, is that what you're trying to address?
Yeah. We need to call piece area exec with the same line and same line length, but then a different offset.
So what you want to do is make sure that you searched until the end of a line.
Right. And the way, since piece area exec, it's only going to return one match each time, we have, like, the next time you call it, you have to give it a new offset that is, up to where it is searched.
Does RV tell you where?
Return value is error or not. This offset vector guy.
Oh.
That tells you, whether or not this thing.
What is offset vector?
It gets set such that, the buff offset 1 is, let's see. Okay, the first element, it's a 3-element array. I mean, we make it, but
Okay.
It's just an array of integers, yeah. So the first element is where the match was found, I think. And the second one is where that match ended. And then the third bit, offset vector 2, well, we don't use it, and I'm not sure what it's for.
Okay.
Somewhere in the piece area man pages, probably.
So maybe have an additional while loop to go through the line. And
Yeah. There are two options. We can either have another while loop that, this is, the outside one would be like for each line, and then the next one would be like for each match inside each line. The other option is make getLine a little smarter so that, let's see, we've got a line offset. Yeah.
We're not setting line offset. We're not creating that.
It doesn't exist yet, correct?
So start at 0.
Well, we haven't declared line offset. This just doesn't compile.
Right. But it will start at 0, right? Or no? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense for it to start at 0. Or it should actually be...
Yes.
should be grumble, grumble.
Why wouldn't it be 0?
Well, I'm thinking of the instance of you call getLine. Like, I want getLine to set it because that just makes my life a little easier. If we started at 0, we'd have to declare it outside of this loop. Otherwise, it won't be in. Otherwise, it'll get set to 0 every time, and then you'll never move forward. Like, the next time you call line PCRE exec. I feel bad writing that, but whatever. So since C is passed by value, and we want getLine to modify line offset.
Right. Now that you mention that, offset vector is not being passed with the ampersand, but it's modifying its values.
Offset vector is an array, and so arrays are
already okay.
Yeah, you're passing the first pointer.
Okay, got it. Yep. Thanks. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. It would be the same as if this were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these aren't equivalent because one's on the stack and one's on the heap. But yeah, for C purposes, if it's an array, it behaves like a pointer most of the time.
Mallocs on the heap and the arrays.
Because
you can reallocate and make that array bigger, creating a vector.
Yeah. And you could leak it if you forget to free it.
It's not actually a vector. It's just an array.
Right. PCRE calls them vectors. That's why I have the word vector in there. I don't call things vectors just willy-nilly. Okay, so we've got our line. Maybe there's no line. Okay, let's break. Length, super lazy about this. I mean, we could put like line length in here as well. Oh yeah, you're right. We should initialize line offset to 0 because the first time we call getLine, like, we're going to look at line offset, yeah.
What happens when getLine? So if getLine doesn't find a line, it returns a null, and we break out of this.
Correct. All right, I'll probably clean up the order of these arguments at some point. What do you think? Yeah. And by some point, I mean right now. It was just weird to have length, offset, offset. Like before it was length, offset, length. Just random. All right. Oh no, we didn't get a line break. Okay.
That's good.
PCRE exec, and now we're giving it line stuff. Good. And in this case, buff offset should not be offset vector 1. It should be line offset plus beginning. You see what I'm trying to get at? Like, we have to convert back to buff offsets now that we've got our results.
I mean, maybe what you want to do is add up the lines. So you start at 0, and then you just, as you iterate through the lines, you have a like temp offset, and you just add the length of the line to it as you iterate through the while loop.
Yeah, like really, if we just accumulate line, will give us the offset that we need. So it would just be like, this would be line to buff.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to do it there though. You want to add line offset there. You don't want to add the whole line length, because that's the end of the line, right?
Yeah, but it's tricky.
I mean, it's too big. That's the next line. That's the start of the next line.
Yeah, yeah, it totally is.
It's a line offset.
Yeah,
So
but
if you want
if it's line offset could be line offset's going to be the offset within that line. So
that's fine because your line above is just all the other lines, right? So that's fine.
Let's give an example where line offset starts off at 1, and then the next time it's 2. But in that case, your line
You
above is
don't
going
want
to be
to.
3.
No, it
You want
wouldn't
to
be.
add,
Oh, you're right. Yes, you're correct.
yeah.
So
So both are wrong. We gotta
you need
figure out something else.
another thing.
We need to add more epicycles.
Or you wait. You could
Another option
either
is
track
get
that
line.
separately. You either track
Yeah.
that separately, or always keep resetting line above with the latest line offset, and then you're so you're basically creating a new. You need a new variable either way.
Yeah. Another option is line offset could be like the whole line to buff conversion. And then if you want the real line offset, it's tricky, huh? I can see why PCRE didn't add this feature. Got our bufflen, buff offset, yeah. I think we have all the information we need here.
Oh, we have all the information. It's just making a choice which approach you want.
Yeah.
In
I'm
either
wondering
case,
if
you need a
getLine.
variable. I would go for whatever is more easy to understand when you come back to. Whatever is easier to understand when you come back later.
Yeah. Okay. Well, buff offset less than buff len. That is totally what we want.
It's good. It's very variable. Like I understand what's going on here, which is good for.
Yeah, it's just this is the funny part where it's like it's such a simple thing. All these little offsets.
I think this will be different enough. This wallet will be different enough that you're not going to have a lot of sharing going on.
Yeah, that makes me. I mean, this part is going to be exactly the same. I'm going to figure out a way to like put that stuff together, but otherwise, yeah. So we also want line to buff. This is so tricky. So line offset is going to be like 5 or something. It's going to be relative to the line where PCRE exec should go. Buff offset is line offset. Okay, so bam. I'm passing, we're going to change buff offset and get line.
You're going to change buff offset and get line, and then get line is going to be responsible for returning the subset of lines that it needs.
So get line is going to return one line, but it's going to change buff offset to be whatever the new line offset thing is.
Okay,
right?
Got it. So you don't need line
that.
You do.
Still need the line length. Just it's an optimization because we could call strlen or whatever. But yeah, I guess in this case, if line length, could it be 0? Maybe. And all right, we give it the line length, the line offset, a little offset vector, and now we want buff offset to be offset vector 1. So that's line relative. Almost? No, not quite.
Well, you're going to need another while loop in here somewhere, and I think it may be hard to think about see what you need until you add that other loop.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Let's just do it the straightforward way.
Well, you'll want the matches part too, right? Because you can have multiple matches in a line. So incrementing match length, etc., all that stuff is going to have to go in there too.
Yeah, the tricky thing now, though, is the break isn't going to work.
Can you do like a goto?
Yep. I don't want to say this is what goto is made for, but you can use goto here.
It's fine.
It's not like there's a double break.
The gotos are bad when you don't understand where they're going to, but in this case, you know exactly what's happening.
It's like goto end of this other loop. Yeah.
I guess it's bad because you could like go to, like if there are two labels that are the same name, how does it know where to go to? I don't know.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do it.
Labels, I mean, compiler will complain about that, but I'm pretty sure labels have the same scoping, or
Okay.
I think it's a file scope.
Okay.
Like you can't go to something in a totally different file, I'm pretty sure.
That's
I've
good.
never tried it because I don't, like, why would you ever do that?
Well, you would do it unintentionally. You'd learn about it after you'd had ran through a bug that took you an hour to fix, right? You're like, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, you're like, why is this code executing?
So the absence of having ever had to debug something like that would lead you to assume that, well, no, we don't really go too much. So.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Let's get this guy.
It'd be nice if it'd be like completely break out of all loops, or maybe break 2 or something. I don't know. Whatever.
All right, this is the end of our while. So.
Yeah, I guess be consistent.
Yeah, and this break is allowed, whatever.
So when you do the multi-line done with just a semicolon, it just goes on to the next line. Does that? Yeah.
Sorry?
So where you define the label.
Yeah, it's not a syntax error, I don't think. It's just some compilers complain if you don't have the semicolon there. I forget why.
Okay.
There's other examples where I've got labels and I stick a semicolon there because GCC or whatever complains.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's purely stylistic, though. All right, so it does, yeah. I'm like, why is there? You're not supposed to have a semicolon there.
Maybe if they're like a keyword, I don't know.
Yeah, it was like label multi-line done, but no, it's just that. Okay, so this we probably give this guy enough info. Offset. I don't think we need line offset anymore because we just keep on going until. Yeah.
What'd you call the buff getLine? You renamed it?
Yeah, well, getLine it's already a function that's in libc. So,
okay.
Yeah. We might have an AG getLine down in search. Nope, we just use normal getLine down in search stream.
And that handles the
getLine.
The new.
You give it a stream, and then it returns the line. Oh, I guess we should.
How does it know what line endings to use for get lines? Like if you're in Windows, versus OS 10, does it?
Platform specific. I mean, getLine for that platform will do that thing.
But people use /n on Windows too sometimes. So.
Yeah, sometimes.
So I
don't know. I don't know what it does in Windows. It probably screws up.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we get our line length and then search buff. So I guess I should change our buff getLine to behave like normal getLine since they have the same name. So return length, pass the character pointer, and then let getLine allocate or not allocate. Yeah, I like that. We're going to save some memory here. This is going to be awesome.
Cool.
So first param. Ampersand line. That's not quite what we want. Nope. That is what we want. Okay. Line length, give it a line. And nope. And line offset is always going to be 0 because I'm liking this so much more now. Yeah. Okay, so we've got our line. Buff get line takes, yeah, line, buff len, and buff offset. Yeah, yes, this makes way more sense to me now. And we go through until we get to the end of the line. We keep calling this guy with line len, line offset. And now we just need to convert back to other offsets. So the way we do that is buff offset could be you have thoughts on this where like right now buff offset is never getting incremented.
Right. I think what you should do is create a new variable where you add buff offset plus line offset on each iteration of the second loop, and you're creating a new variable. So like int, buff line offset equals buff offset plus line offset. You do that inside the while loop, and then you're good. No, inside the while loop.
Inside?
Yeah, because you don't have it. You need the line offset from the PCRE exec. No, that's not right. No,
like that?
After. That's not going to work.
You can change it too.
Okay. Right, so now...
okay. I see what you mean.
Right, so this will always be correct. Because it's always going to be
because we're
the
not
whole buffer
with
plus
buff.
the current line offset. That should be correct, right? On each iteration. So you're creating this new, you're not... And then at the end, you're going to have to increment. So at the end of this while loop, so when this is done, then you're going to...
Be buff offset equal...
Buff set plus line length. So...
Yeah.
Buff, I don't know, maybe...
This is outside of that plus equal line length. So buff offset is really like current line, but yeah, whatever.
Is that not correct?
I think that's semicolon, then you're good.
Oh, right. And this is this the correct? That is outside that while loop. Yes, sir.
Yes.
I can't tell.
Yeah, we probably don't want to do
Adam
it every time.
Tells me which. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah, Adam matches.
What I like in IntelliJ is I can fold the matching brackets, so then it's very easy to tell that I'm outside. It's good.
Yeah, and Control M, as in Mike, will go to the matching bracket back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got our little buff to line. We've got our buff offset. We've got our line offset. We set buff offset to 0 somewhere, right? It's probably way up at the top.
I don't know.
Hey-oh, way up at the top. Yeah.
Size T. Okay.
Yeah, it's just unsigned.
The other ones we said to int, maybe you want to set them all to size T then, all the offsets?
It depends.
Like there's separate types? There are different types then?
Yeah. This guy, yeah, size T is probably fine.
And then
there's also
the other one, the new, this right here should probably be.
Your buff to line? Yes. The only annoyance is PCRE exec wants ints for a lot of these things.
Why didn't you size T?
Yeah, it might warn about like a type conversion, but it should be okay.
Size T is not the same as word size. Size T is
size T on this system, it's just the width of your processor.
Right.
You know,
that's word size.
Word size?
Word. That's I don't know. It's
maybe
K and R. I think uses this term word size.
Yeah. But yeah, so in this case, it'd be 64-bit unsigned integer. Yeah. All right, we screw up. And then, okay, so buff offset is not going to be this. Line offset is going to be offset vector 1.
Okay.
And basically everywhere we have a buff offset, we need to change it to a line offset. And then before we set this match, okay, matches, we need, so when this matches is the thing that we're passing to print, like to print results.
Yes.
And so those offsets need to be based on the buff.
No, that's not correct.
No?
Because the offset vector will not. So the offset.
So buff offs.
The offset vector. Okay, what is line offset?
It's like the number 4. It's like how far in that line the offset is of the
offset
match.
Vector is how far. What? How far
That's
from?
by matches. From the line as well, because we're calling PCRE exec on the line.
Why do we need the line offset if they're the same?
So this is
what we pass in where it starts from. Got it. Yeah, I got it. So
yeah. So the line offset is going to be 0, and then it's going to be like 4 if there's another match on that line. 4 bytes later, and then yeah.
So should this be? This is we're not passing this in as it's not being dereferenced. So this is going to be 0 here. Like, this doesn't look right.
Sorry, where?
This,
Can you there we go.
This line doesn't look correct.
So this is going to be 0, and then this guy's going to be 0.
That's not right. It should be offset.
But then later, it's going to be whatever this guy is. So you're saying,
when does this get incremented? What increments this variable?
What increments
right here.
line offset?
Here it is.
Right here, yeah. So this isn't quite correct.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. That's a little weird. Okay, got it.
It is. So our buff to line.
It's the thing that trips me up about it is that line offset is in 2 states, 2 separate states. With we changed it a little bit down. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I got it.
The only time line offset is changed is it's just offset vector 1. So, and then of course you don't want to keep matching the same thing all day. So yeah.
Wait, why did we increment it here?
Because the match is of length 0. So you can have a regular expression that matches empty. And if that's the case, we don't want to match that same thing forever. So we need to increment the offset. And then the next time we call PCRE exec, it'll match hopefully something else.
Do you want to increment it just by 1 or to the end of what it matched before?
Well, in this case, the end of what it matched was the start of where it matched.
Got it.
So we're like, okay, increment. But yeah, otherwise it's like, yeah. Wait, copy pasted from above? Is it copy pasted? Oh god, it's 3 times. It's 3 times. Oh no. No. Well, that's gonna happen at some point.
No, we can fix it.
We'll fix it later. Too much. Okay, this matches len. That's okay. Yeah, and then our start and our end. I think that might be kind of close to the values we want. It's either buff offset is going to go there or buff to line is going to go there. We're not using buff to line at all right now, by the way.
So the purpose of buff to line was
wanted to convert the offsets to be used in matches, but then we just used this guy because I'm pretty sure that's okay. It really depends on what.
No. Offset vector will be.
Line offset. Yeah, you're right. I think we need buff to line instead of buff offset here. And it's really line to buff. Jeez. All right, let's watch this thing not compile. Yeah, I forgot to write buff get line. Just minor oversight, whatever. That's. I think that's the only thing. I think I have unbalanced print somewhere. Fix that guy. Cool. So let's write some buff get line, and then it will compile. It just won't work probably. This should maybe live in. Let's go over to utils. I think I have a get line that I define. If you're on Windows or something, or if you just don't have get line. Yeah.
Wait, you wrote your own get line. I thought you said get line was a
Well,
C-lib thing.
It is, but sometimes it's not
Oh,
there.
so this is like a polyfill.
Yeah. Yeah. So if automake is like, oh, there's no get line, or if configure's like, there's no get line, then it will set the, it won't set the have get line, pound define and config.h or whatever.
I was
and then
seeing if.
Okay. Yeah. So buff get line takes. I'm just going to copy the call. Why am I returning a signed size T? Not sure.
You would never have a -1 line size, right?
Maybe if there's some sort of error.
That's a weird error signal. But I guess it's C.
Yeah. Well, welcome to C. Oh my God. There's no exceptions, so it's all you've got is your return value.
Well, you could always pass in an error pointer, an error thing, and check that, right? Like you go.
Yeah, that's not very standard though, because also C is passed by value. So if you're passing like an error reference, is it either it has to be a fixed size, or it's like the thing will allocate it and then you have to free it or something like later.
Can't it just always be an int? And if it's 1, something wrong. If it's 0, everything's fine.
Oh yeah. A lot of things will return 0, and if they don't return 0,
or you can create a struct, I guess, and like have state in it.
Yeah. So the common error methods in C are either you have a return code like RV, and if it's less than 0, then there's some sort of error. Another option is you have this return code and it's -1 or something, and then you set the global error no. And that is there's this global variable called error no, and it's an integer and it corresponds to different error messages. So then you can say stir error and give it that error number, and it will print out a string that is related to that error. But there's a bunch of standard errors, standard error no values.
Does C++ have exceptions?
Yeah. In fact, since constructors in C++ don't return anything,
you have to have.
You can signal error in a constructor in C++ is to throw. So yeah. Yeah. So then you end up with your try catches around your news or whatever. All right, we've got our little buff get line, and it takes call it a const sharp pointer. Actually, I think, yeah, double pointer.
It's weird. I'm seeing this cursor jump down a line when you make changes. Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but the cursor jumps down the next line and jumps right back up. It's very weird. But
maybe, is it only when I'm typing and not when I'm...
Can you type something? Yeah. No, not then.
I think it's the patch area.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
where we're applying. Yeah. And buff offset.
It's kind of ugly. We're gonna have to want to create an issue for that.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I've defined some things that sort of make sense here. And now we want to just start at buff, bracket buff offset. And
Are you gonna need some if-defs for
no.
new line types?
Mm,
How do you?
That is a good question.
I don't know how you're gonna handle new lines. It's such a hairy issue.
Okay, I've got an
binary
F
file.
line.
Like maybe there's like characters. There are bytes in there that look like they're new lines, but they're not new lines because it's binary.
Well, I mean, it's the same byte. Like, it's not my fault if you search a binary file with no multi-line option.
Well, sometimes you search a no multi-line. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, what are you doing, buddy? Like, I don't know. Okay, so if character equal \n, so that's how it works.
That's it.
Yep. Sorry, Windows and Amiga users. The world has standardized on \n.
OS 10 users. OS
9 users.
OS 9 users.
Okay, so OS 9, Amiga, and Windows. So I can't believe that wasn't a standard. Like, it's like that and Indianness.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Byte order.
Yeah.
Well, why doesn't everybody just agree on network byte order? There's already a thing for network byte order.
Yeah.
So let's just make it network byte order.
That was the dumbest thing. You remember that at Bloglines when I had that problem on my Mac?
Yes.
Where I couldn't, where I had the security exceptions like 1.0.0.127.
I don't remember what the specific error was, but I remember it being that you had a PowerPC Mac and then
and everyone else was on x86, and x86 is Little Indian, PowerPC
You're never
is.
supposed to worry about any of this.
You're
never supposed to have to worry about it.
It really sucked. It was like my first week on the job. And I'm like dealing with Indianness issues, my first real job, and I'm like, what is happening?
I don't know, but I just like. So I guess when you're reading, I don't know, unless you're doing really low level stuff, you shouldn't have to worry about anything.
Right. Yeah, let's just crank out this little function. While
so that get line looks for null pointers. Like a null, null value, not null pointer, null value.
Sorry, what looks for null?
Line 5, right here. See the other get line? I don't see.
There's no null check.
Right.
Because this is a stream that it's reading. So worst case, it would get like an EOF or something. But the actual error handling is an fget line for the stream stuff.
Oh, well, you jump to a new line somewhere at some point, but I don't see get line itself with any kind of reference to a new line.
Right. Oh, yeah. fget line.
Okay. Okay.
It's up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just like the previous function.
Okay.
And that guy has there's your,
Okay.
Yeah, it's like lock the file pointer, blah, 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 reallocate. Blah. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't like it.
Locks.
So
that's a system, that's like system-wide file lock, yeah? Or just the file pointer?
It's just locking the file, the handle, the file pointer. So
nothing else can write to the
file descriptor.
Nothing else can write to that file descriptor.
I forget what kind of lock it is.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, that's fine.
flock. I forget what flock file does. I want to say it's. I mean, we're only reading.
You have a fun log file too.
Yeah. When we're done, we need to unlock it so that way other people.
It's like fun, right? Unlock. Yes.
It's super fun. I didn't write those files.
No, that's fine. I just saw the fun before I saw the unlock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun lock. Oh, no more fun on this file. We're locking it up. Okay, so we've got our current position. We need to just go through and line is gonna pointer. Yeah, okay.
Oh, you know something we need to do.
Oh,
is an atom. When you jump to another line, it should jump. It's like scrolling to the bare minimum. Like I'm not getting enough.
Oh, you want to scroll to the center.
Yeah, I'm not getting enough content underneath the cursor that it jumped to, because it's just so like scroll into view is not good enough.
Yeah,
maybe
the
that's
Sublime Text has a similar.
I don't know. I think it's very in our web buffer.
Yeah, I think so. Where if it's like too far out of the middle, we scroll to it.
This is like I see 3 lines, and it's just I want to see more than that.
If I summon you, does it center? I just summoned, so no.
Did nothing.
Okay. It's just same. Okay. That would kind of make sense. Someone would be like, "Bam, it's in the middle, no matter what." All right. So, whoa.
No, I don't want that because I don't want it to continue to move up and down while you're like using your cursor. Maybe a summon would always center it, but if you're just moving your cursor around, I don't want the file just.
Right. I agree. I guess we could, whatever.
So you're looking at each character.
Yeah.
And you're looking for a new line.
And we also want to make sure that we don't go past bufflen.
Yes.
So current pointer, yeah.
So is that is that just a seg fault when you do that?
It's undefined behavior, so but usually.
I mean, if it's undefined, it's like a security vulnerability.
Yeah, well, it can, all kinds of crazy stuff it can happen. It really depends on the compiler and the architecture and stuff. But usually, if you try and read memory that is outside of your address space, you'll just segfault.
Which is not good.
Yeah, that's less than ideal. It would make AG much faster. Like, it's way faster now. It's however fast you can segfault. I might use comma. I'm just abusing buff offset. Like, since it's passed by value, we're not changing it. Yeah. Line actually.
Yeah, why? Why do you need line length at all?
We don't. It's going to be... Yeah, it's going to be buff.
Oh, we're going to return line length.
We need to return the length of the line, and we need to set character pointer. So there's our, like, we need to go until we've hit a new line.
You need to increment.
Let me change this to a while, just to, yeah. Well, one case we definitely want is All right, well, we don't have a new line. Yeah, go for it, dude. Well, didn't I just...
Oh, you just did that. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to do the opposite now, where it's like, if...
Okay, okay. Yeah, you reversed your logic then. Okay. As I was typing.
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
I didn't look at what you were typing.
Well... Oh my god, we're so good at if statements and conditionals. Oh, this is amazing. Okay. Well, we haven't hit a new line, and we haven't, gone beyond this. Yeah.
Yep. That's good. That's good. That's clean.
And we need to increment. Yeah. I think that's sort of okay now.
What if cur is nothing?
What do you mean?
Okay,
like,
so you
backslash 0?
So you pass in the buffer plus the buff offset, right?
Yeah.
And let's
And then
let's assume cur is a new line.
Yeah.
Then
it's a new line.
Well, we return line length and we do not increment that anywhere. So we don't even set it.
Well, we're gonna pass in a different buff offset. Yeah. Oh.
Line length is nothing, and we don't increment.
Right. Well, really, line length is going to be. Well, we want like original buff offset to know how far we went.
Why don't you just increment line length?
Yeah. Well.
That's a lot of incrementing. Yeah, okay, that's good. Alright, let me just think through this. Okay, so if the character is a new line, then you return 0. And if you return 0, I don't know what happens in the other code. We're probably fine, we're probably handling it. Okay. So I'm just trying to think of a weird case. If we're already at the offset, then yep.
Then we break, and again,
0.
we're done.
Yeah.
The only tricky thing is the line. We're not setting it.
Oh, that's right. Yes, line is not
like
set.
A while.
So you need to.
Well, we want.
It's going to be a subset of buff.
Like, if something screws up, we just want it to be null.
Yeah. So after your while loop, if your line is greater than 0, I mean, if your line length is greater than 0, you want to set it to after the while loop. What did you just remove?
I put it after the while loop.
Okay, so line equals, because that is, and you have the line length. Yeah.
That's kind of silly, huh?
No, it's good. What's wrong with that? If we're
incrementing both of these and we're checking them, it seems like there's a simpler thing to be done here.
So line length cur. Well, you need to check. The thing is, you need to check cur in the while loop. So I don't see any way out of it. Oh, unless you do it. Yeah, okay. As long as you use a while loop, yeah. But now you're gonna have 2 if statements now. Oh no, you're doing that condition. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Good, I got it. This will work.
Well.
You need a semicolon.
Yeah, definitely. Just a sec.
And that I, you just have like this I floating here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, cur plus I.
It's going to be. Otherwise, it's a pointer. If you do cur plus I, it's a pointer, and then you dereference it.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And now line length is. And what are you doing here? Absolutely nothing. So now this is going to be keep on trucking.
Do you even need the brackets?
No, but it's just weird to have that.
This is a weird loop.
Yep. Okay, so I is 0 while it's not a new line, and our offset plus I is less than bufflin. Keep on trucking. Line equals, it's not quite right. That's the value. There we go. So we dereference line, so that way we change it. And yeah. And let me clean up style so that way Clang format doesn't hate me.
Wait, but you define the I inside the for loop. Is it scoped
It's
here?
okay because it's the curly braces are scope blocks.
Okay. That's
So
different from. Is that different from other programming languages? I'm not sure now, actually.
It depends. I mean, JavaScript scoping is so crazy that it just kind of screws up your intuitions. Yeah.
Like, yeah, if I do a let inside a for in JavaScript, inside the parentheses, is that scope with inside the for or inside the function?
I think it's function scope. It'd be really weird if it were otherwise. Like, I mean, let doesn't matter above like var, but
No, it's very consistent to just have it inside.
Yeah.
Is it inside the curly brackets? Then it's in the scope. It's just yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's define this function over in util.h. And where's our little get line?
Oh yeah. See, you have to do this in.
Yeah. All right, what does that error out in? Right, this might actually compile. There's no way it'll actually work.
No way.
Oh, whoops. It is a minor. Okay, so buff is a const pointer, and this is not.
What? Well, maybe don't make it a const.
Well, it has to be because it's a memory map file that's read only. So
okay,
they just have to preserve
so that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So reading from a memory map pointer, is there like some special thing going on? Is it just a regular pointer that's some pointer address or no? Okay, never mind.
So you can call memory map with different options and make it writable as well. It's just we don't do that, and so I wanted to enforce the constness. Also, if you declare something const, C can often optimize it better because it knows the value won't change. It knows like you won't be like aliasing the same chunk of memory two different ways. Like, yeah. Now, whoopsies. There's no way I can get away with equals. There's a minor, it's a warning where this is a normal pointer, not const. This one is totally const, and then we're like const, we're like assigning.
And it's a warning, huh? Is there like a cast or something that you can do?
Oh yeah, you can totally cast const away.
Well, then you'll get rid of your warning.
You're not supposed to.
But you're not changing a const. You're assigning a const to a non-const. It's weird to me that you would get a warning for this.
Oh yeah, we discard it. All right.
What do you? What?
I'm just undoing my. I'll leave the warning for now.
Okay. Do you miss the multi-line from Sublime Text? The multiple cursor stuff from Sublime Text?
Yeah, Atom's getting there, but it's not as good as Sublime yet when it comes to multiple cursors. Like, holding down Alt and being able to select an area is my favorite thing, and Atom doesn't have it yet. Yeah, it selects across.
Can you get a multiple cursor for all words that match the current string?
Oh, Command D? Heck yeah.
See,
it's killed all those consts.
That's the thing that doesn't work in IntelliJ, which bugs me.
It's my favorite thing. It's so good.
It's really it's like it's faster than what I do in Vim, because I do that in Vim, but I have to type out the.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't I have to do a search and replace. I don't have multiple cursors. Somebody tried to make a multiple cursors plugin for Vim, but it blows up.
Okay. So I just ran this actually compiles now. So hooray. It doesn't quite pass tests though.
Why doesn't it pass the test?
I'm not sure. All the other tests pass, so that's good. We didn't screw up any other behavior. But
that's because it's scoped to multi-line.
Yeah, we only exercise that chunk of code we wrote if you say no multi-line.
Yeah,
so the test that fails is this guy, multiline.t.
So what is that? So no multi-line.
Should match.
So not W. So whenever it's not W. Oh, and the text is
so it should just match the third line of that file, because the file that we create in this test case is 3 lines: what, new line ever, new line whatever.
Oh, but it matches the whole thing.
It matches nothing.
It matches nothing.
It used to match the whole thing before we wrote this code, and now it matches nothing. So we're not quite.
Okay, let's think about that for a second.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna just either step through with a debugger or just add some prints
let's figure out. I want to think through it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm guessing the line is wrong. The line.
I was just gonna print out whatever line.
Print it out. I can't see it though. So.
Oh yeah, you'd have to open your browser you don't have Fluty on that machine. So.
No. So we're an hour and 17 minutes into this recording.
Oh.
I hope the audio, I'm noticing a little bit of. Sometimes my microphone indicator jumps a lot, like in OBS. So hopefully it's not the audio. Maybe we should have tested audio.
It sounds fine to me.
To you, but you're not getting the video. Sometimes I mute it. I mute when I'm about to take a drink. I mute the OBS microphone, my microphone OBS, but.
Okay, so line was empty string. So it's the buff get line is giving me an empty string back instead of a thing that I care about. All right, plus buff offset.
You're incrementing I.
Yeah.
How many times did it print that? Did it print it 3 times? Or just once?
Let's see. It printed it once.
Just once?
Just printed error. It's just line, empty string. That's it.
And it should have printed it 3 times.
Here.
So it went through. Oh.
Well, no, line was nothing, so it broke.
Got it.
That's why.
But it should have gone through this. It should call buff get line 3 times. Oh, it broke. It braked out. Okay, got
Right.
it. So the first time, okay, that's fine. What we're missing is yeah. Oh, you're gonna yeah. Good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sharing this terminal, so if you want to see it in the browser, you'll see it, but it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so line length is 4, but line the thing is actually
Can we look at the test case again?
no.
I can switch to.
I mean,
I'm in follow. Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah.
4. Oh,
This one fails.
So. Right.
And yeah, it's over in get line.
So the line length is correct. Because the first line is what? And that's 4 characters.
Line length is 4, yeah.
That's correct.
But line itself is null. So buff offset was 0. Line null. Line current plus I. So I'm guessing we never hit.
We do, because line length, it incremented 4 times. It did not increment through the entire. Yeah, there's no way it would have incremented through the entire buffer.
Right, and okay, so I is for current. Not
buff,
sure.
It's buff plus buff offset. So buff is
the start of the file, and then offset is in this case it's 0, and then we keep on trucking.
But cur is correct because we're doing the I. We're checking for the new line, and it finds the new line.
So yeah,
that's weird.
I don't know why. All right, we dereference line and we set it to null. So we're like, the thing that line points to, set that thing to null, and then we're like, the thing that line points to, set it to current plus I. Why did I use a sign size t? This should just be.
This doesn't matter. What is it? Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. I think I just made it consistent with getLine, so it could return like -1 if something really screws up.
But then you'd have a line that goes back.
Right. Well, you just check the return value and be like, oh, -1, it's an error.
Don't look at a line.
Yeah. So if line is. Actually, let's see. I don't think we want current plus I. I think we just want current. Think about it. So we went until we got to a new line. And then we're like, okay, we're at a new line, but we don't.
But that wouldn't make line null. That'd be a different issue. Are you sure line is null?
I think it's empty string. That is really weird that I'm logging that thing and it's like.
Is line, can you go back to the other?
Util?
Yeah, okay, just 1 second. All right, so you set line.
Yeah.
Cur is buff plus buff offset. So that's like the whole buffer from that line onwards. It's not a subset. It doesn't end.
But then we return the length.
We return
but yeah, it's
But when you're printing line in that print, you're not checking that length at all. So you're printing the rest of the buffer.
Well, yeah, but
it's returning an empty string.
Yeah, I'm printing out the whole buffer, but when I print it out, I get nothing right now. I get empty string. So that's what's confusing me. Like, I think we're going all the way to the end or
exactly.
something.
That's what I was going to think too. But the line length is correct. So maybe your while loop, but no, because it's okay. Is it printing at the end? Can you? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm a slave to your follow mode right now. So never mind.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Line is. Oh, okay. So in this case, I print out the whole thing with quotes. It was confusing because of the test output. I mean, I'm sharing my terminal, but if you open it in a browser, you'll see.
I'm going to open up in the browser. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, you see the output of the test?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so line is new line, ever, whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, we got pretty sure that's what we want. And then we want to make sure when we call this that not line, all right, buff offset plus equal line len. Where's this guy? So we want to make sure that
you don't need to set that to null anymore.
Right, that never does anything right now. The only tricky thing is if we're on a new line, like, this should be done outside of this guy, where we want to make sure that we're not calling it with the same line len every time. So like that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's see what that does. Yeah, no, blah, blah, blah.
Should be fine, because if you go past the string, it's the buff size, and it'll return 0.
Yeah.
And then we handle the 0. And we break.
Okay, I'm going to kill the debug statement, and still found nothing. And line was correct, but it only ran once. Line length was correct. Whatever, len 4. But then we broke. So why did we break? Okay, multiline done. Multiline done. Maybe our PCRE exec was stupid. Let's see. Line len, that's 4. Line offset, that's 0. Offset vector, that's a thing that we reuse. Yeah, it's in.
What's the 3?
It's in scope. Yeah.
What is the 3? What is this number?
Length. Oh, at the end, length of offset vector.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can give it. You could to PCRE exec. You could say like, here's an offset vector of 1,000 things to find me the first 1,000 matches.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Make blah blah blah. Okay, so our error is PCRE exec hates us. Like the first time we're like, oh, there are no matches, we're done.
Mm.
So why does it hate us? We've got our line, which is a string. We've got a length of 4. We've got an offset of 0, offset vector. Oh, okay. So we shouldn't die if there's not a match on this one line. We should just keep on trucking. Like, okay, great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
But we
oopsies.
die if we have that error down there. Okay.
This one, yeah, too many
I
matches.
saw you
Yeah.
change that, and I just, oh yeah, you don't want breaks inside the while loop, but I never
Yeah.
gave it a thought about
break inside a
what
while
would
loop.
happen there. Yeah, okay.
Hey, this looks a little better. Okay, so let me kill this guy. I think that's the only actual debug statement we have now. And try again. Test, pass.
Great.
Mission accomplished.
Good job.
Oh. Sweet. So I'm going to progress commit this in a branch, and then later I guess I'll clean it up. And this guy, the copy pasted from above, fix me, since that's in 3 places now. I can't, in good conscience, let that exist in 3 places. Yeah, that's.
Well, the lines beneath it are the same too.
They're exactly the same. So I don't know what the best
It's like
thing.
you got about 7 lines there.
Yeah,
you could probably just put in a function, which is just like.
Well, this one's a little bit different because our offset vectors are different. But yeah, we should probably pass something to a function.
You can pass that in, right? Yeah.
And yeah, then the only tricky part is if there's too many, we've got to do other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so one test case passes and it doesn't screw up on other stuff. Let me just try.
Is this how does this affect performance? So you've got a while and a while.
Performance. Oh man.
Because you have a while and a while now.
Because we have a while and a while, and this get line. Hey, how does this implement?
But it would only be slow for this.
Every freaking character.
But it's not going to slow down existing behavior.
Correct.
Unless they were already using multi-line, setting that to false, and that wasn't actually doing anything. Now it'll be slow, and it'll do something different.
Right. Oh yeah, check that out. Okay, see my terminal that I'm sharing? So I'm like, I want things that have blah with no letter W in the middle.
Right.
Let's do plus. Oh yeah, check that out.
Nice.
Now, if I have multi-line on, oh, look at that useless stuff. It just matches giant chunks of things that I don't care about.
Yeah, and do you want to, can you time it, like a difference on a big file?
Oh yeah, it's going to be ugly.
Because is it...
Well, this is on a small directory.
Does it reuse the regular expression, or does it have to recompile it?
It's just PCRE execing. So the regular expression and the extra studied stuff is reused. Yeah, it's not recompiling every time.
Okay.
But it is pretty expensive because we're calling PCRE exec instead of 1 time per file, we're calling it number of new lines per file. So it's really expensive, and we're counting the new lines.
It's kind of weird though. We're doing something PC. This thing should already be doing this because we're like duplicating the work of keeping track where we are inside a file as we're searching through it. Like this is keeping track of where we are in a string.
Yeah.
And then PCRE is doing that itself in the subset that we give it. Yeah, okay.
Yep. Prints out some really handy results, though. Oh, and it's greedy, so it matches with blah in the middle, of course. Yeah. It's still, I have no idea how big.
Is there an option to pass into your regular expression to make it not greedy?
No, but I think that's the thing in PCRE, where you can set the greediness.
So you could put that inside your regular expression itself.
Yeah. All right, that's taking too long. I don't care how slow it is. I just care that it has correct behavior so far. Let me commit this guy.
So it took 6 seconds.
Well, I hit Control-C, so it took 36 seconds, and I'm like, I don't care, Control-C.
Oh, and that was a big file that you were doing that on?
It was my entire code directory, so it's like 10 gigabytes, and we're video chatting, so this computer is really busy.
Okay.
The load average is 37. What? That's a bit above normal. Well, it's going down now.
Wow. What are you doing? Are you talking?
I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so Atom is using up 142%. Oh, and another Atom is using up another 30%. And Core Graphics Framework. And, the Atom. I wonder, it looks like Atom.
You're using 1.09?
I am using 109, yeah.
Okay, that's the latest Atom.
It is. I didn't even know my load average was that high. It feels fine to me in terms of speed. It's weird. Let's add -p this guy.
Cool.
Oh, that's a stupid bug in Atom, the binary file. So this is a test case for AG's is binary that fails with most of our is binary stuff. So Atom thinks it's not binary when it totally is binary because it's a PDF file with some special stuff at the start that fools is binary. So it's not our fault. We just have to port some of AG's is binariness over. Anyway. Sweet. Cool. Mission mostly accomplished. That was pretty painless. If we added terminal support to Atom, then this would be pretty amazing, huh?
Everything worked really well. I want to see cursors, so I know what character your cursor is on, and the terminals. There was something else. Oh, with the blinking,
when I'm typing,
it blinks down to the side. What is that? The gutter, the indicator on the gutter, just starts flickering a little bit when you're typing, and
and it uses up a lot of CPU.
Yeah, so we're probably gonna have to edit the video.
Yeah, probably.
To cut the beginning off. What I'll do is I'm just gonna put it on Dropbox and give you the link.
Cool.
And then
or
you can edit
throw it on YouTube or whatever.
I don't know what the sound quality is like. We should have checked that before we started recording an hour's worth of video.
All right. Well, thanks for your help, Bjorn.
Yep.
And I hope anybody who watches this, kind of enjoys seeing us pair with, working on AG,
in Atom.
screwing around in Atom. Yeah.
All right.
Later, dude.
Bye.